eBay sellers, you have landed on episode 192 of eBay the Right Way. Wow, we are getting close to 200 episodes. Today's date is November 20th, 2024, and my guest is Deborah in Arizona. No announcements this week, so we will jump right into the talk.
Hey, listeners, welcome back. I have Deborah with us today. And where are you located?
In southern Arizona.
Okay, where it's nice and balmy and warm.
Yeah, we're finally maybe having a little bit of change in weather, but it's been hot. Yes.
You're ready for that. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay, well, we usually start off with talking about what brought you to eBay and when.
I think I joined about 2009, but I didn't start selling till I think it was 12 or 13.
Okay.
My husband had sold books on Amazon and I had helped him, and I thought, well, I can do my own thing. So I sold books on Amazon for a while. But I kind of got out of that, especially when they started charging money to
Yeah,
have to have
Amazon
an
made
account.
they made it complicated. It
And
was so easy at first, and then they started enforcing or coming up with all these new rules and policies, and it just got to be a headache.
right, and it was hard to find your listing, so it just kind of died.
So what was the catalyst that made you think, I think I'm going to get away from books and sell some stuff on eBay?
Well, I've always had an interest in antiques. My aunt had an antique room, and I was intrigued by that. I always liked to collect things. So my husband and I lived in Yuma, which is kind of a desolate place, but surprisingly, they had a lot of antiques. I don't know how,
Okay.
but we started collecting. And when we moved, and I had an antique store in Yuma for a time, a season. The season there is only in the cooler weather. Everything shuts up tight during the summer, but so I sold antiques for a while there. So when I did get on eBay, I thought that I was gonna sell glass because that's what I had bought, like depression
Uh-huh.
glass and that. And pretty quickly realized I really didn't want to sell that. It's too hard to ship, and I don't know. It just seemed a pain.
Yeah,
So
it's not for everyone, and that's
right,
okay.
right. So, I can't remember who I listened to or watched, but I did kind of do a little thing on what was a good way to start. And I actually went to the 99-cent store and bought calendars and sold calendars on eBay. Those were my first sales.
Really? What
Yes,
kind of calendars?
they were like cartoons, or I think there was some John Wayne ones. They were very specific, so you could write what they were. They just weren't a general calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, not that I made very much money, but I think it was a good way to get into it, just to learn. And
Absolutely. Those would be pretty easy to ship.
yeah, they don't break. They don't, they can bend, but having sold books, and I was always very careful how I wrapped books, because my husband, he has a huge library, and when people did not send him books that were properly wrapped, he would get. So I always made a point to, always wrap something the way that you would want to receive it.
Right.
So
So with
that's kind of my.
calendars would be time sensitive. Did you have a lot of them left over, or did you not
No,
make
I didn't buy
many?
a ton. I mean, it was at
Uh-huh.
the 99-cent only store, so they were at that time actually like a dollar. So I
Right.
just bought, and if I, sold some, then I bought a few more. So
That's a great idea. Yeah.
so that
Okay.
was kind of how I got started.
And then what did you graduate to?
I actually started selling clothes.
Okay.
which I thought I would never, ever, ever, ever sell. That was not something I ever wanted to sell, but, I started selling clothes and, I discovered the padded envelopes, the, flat rate, and that is my go-to. I love that's my favorite way to sell something, so sometimes the decision whether I'm gonna buy something is whether it will fit in there or not. So
Yeah, yeah, that's a common issue.
so and then, they're easy to store. It's not like a box. Boxes,
Mhm.
take room. Even if they're flat, they take room. So,
Right.
envelopes are lightweight, easy, and that's just my go-to.
They're
So,
fast. Yeah.
clothes. Um, and the other thing I got into was I really like costumes. As a kid, I loved to dress up, you know. And so I started finding costumes, like at the thrift store or something, and like they were okay, but like, gee, I could make this so much better. And so I used creativity, to make them look better and to get some more, money out of them.
Oh, so you bought them and kind of jazzed them up a little bit.
Yes, especially I like, I have a lot of, like, medieval dresses, like, for
Yeah, that's
Renaissance
a thing.
fairs and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
you just, like, add, and sometimes, they're not made necessarily that well, so a little bit of sewing. I'm not a seamstress, but I can hand sew, I can glue, I can, you know, bedazzle.
Right.
So
Bedazzle.
so I like doing that, and that does take time, so I don't always do that, but that I like that because there's some creativity with it, you know?
Well, yeah, and if people don't realize if they're not in the cosplay world, um, how popular costumes are. Like people need them all year round.
Oh,
You
yes,
don't
I
just
sell
stop at
them.
Halloween. Yeah.
I
Um,
sell them year round.
and the Renaissance festivals, they have those all the time. And whether it's for that or if you're needing a costume in a play, I've had like the wardrobe masters buy stuff from me. Oh, we've been looking for this for our wardrobe stash. And um yeah, when I see stuff like that that's unusual, or oh, this could be a costume, like even doctors' coats, lab coats,
Oh,
stuff
yes,
like
those are
that,
good.
where they pour blood all over them or fake blood or whatever they do. And anything like that that could be
Yeah,
costume.
yeah.
But I love that you embellish them and make them better than the way you found them.
Yeah, and add, like, some kind of a hair ornament or a necklace or something to give value to the costume. It's not something you could just necessarily just go to the store and buy.
Right. That's a great idea. I love that.
And, men's costumes are actually harder to come by. So they're kind of a little more premium if you can find, like, a jacket, like a pirate jacket or something like that. Those are good resellers. I have another 99-cent store only story. They ha they're very when they were open, they were very seasonal, and so they'd have, like, summer things, and they had, always had Hawaiian stuff. So for a while, they had, like, a full Hawaiian costume. I mean, they weren't, like, wonderful, but it was enough to, have go to a party or something. Well, they had a men's one, which is really unusual. So I actually have a little store of those costumes, which I bought for, like, they weren't a dollar anymore, but maybe a couple of dollars, and I added a few lays and stuff, and I have sold those for at least a few, every few months. So men need Hawaiian costumes too.
Hawaiian costumes. That's great. So back to the pirate. What drops into my head is Jerry Seinfeld. I don't want to be a pirate with the pirate shirt. Have you sold any pirate shirts?
Yeah, I found my dirty little secret is I have a room full of stuff. So way more than I could ever list.
Oh, you mean
Oh,
like
yes,
your death pile?
yes.
Okay, so do I need to
Staples.
do I need to come to your house and shop your death pile?
If you like costumes and that kind of thing, yes.
I'd love to do that for people. Just like they have too much. Well, I'll come buy some stuff from your pile.
But yes, I have like shirts and things, but it's good. Like my daughter and I, we went to a movie cosplay festival, and actually we needed medieval costumes, so I was able to find several that I had in my store, not listed, but in my store, and let her choose what she wanted to wear. And I
Wonderful.
had one, so I didn't have to buy anything. I already had it.
There
So
you go. Now,
that's
can you recall one of your highest dollar sales on a costume item?
um they're usually in the $50 range, something
Nice.
like that. But when if you're able to buy them for a small amount, and
Right.
if you can find them off season, it's way better.
I was
Right
just
now,
going to say, we're recording this on November 1st.
yes,
So in the thrift stores, they're going to be marking down those costumes because they need that floor space or rack space for sweaters and winter stuff, I guess.
yes, yes,
Yeah, that's just like the candy. It goes on sale on
yeah,
November 1st. Get your candy and get your costumes.
yes, exactly. They, they say that you can just hold on to them and
Yeah.
someone will need them.
Yeah.
Someone will need them.
Well, that's a great specialty, costumes. Well, what other kind of things do you sell?
Well, since listening to you more recently, I've gotten into a pottery barn, like the shams. That is a
Uh-huh.
great thing. I I finally found a set. I'd been searching for a pottery barn like duvet, and I never found one. And I finally found one with the shams, and that was killed me because it was like a $99 sale.
Oh,
It's the typical, oh, if it was just one more dollar they had offered me.
oh, okay. Well, on that $100 thread, people squeeze in $99 sales.
Well,
Okay.
I'm a rule. I follow rules, so
We're
I
not going to
figured that
kick you
would
out
work.
over a dollar.
Yeah, that's just the way I am. But anyways,
Yeah.
I finally found that set. I was so excited, and now I've actually found more, and, the shams even selling just one,
Hmm.
you bought them for, like, a dollar or 2 sometimes. I got
Well,
a
I
pure
know. Like, what if people think, oh, it's not a set, it's not going to sell. Well, what if their dog ate one of them, or
exactly,
it got messed up in the wash, their husband put the reds in with the whites or whatever. They
exactly,
might only need one, or maybe
ex
they want three on their bed instead of two.
exactly, and they're quite pricey, so
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Maybe they just loved that set and they're getting it piece by piece, um, for the nostalgia of, especially if it's vintage, like these Ralph Lauren vintage bedding, the sheets, the comforters, the pillows, like that is, those go for so much money. And I've started looking at the draperies and balances and stuff that I don't normally look at because I'm seeing on the group what kind of prices these people are getting. And I'm like, really? For that green and burgundy and gold striped curtain, you got that much money?
exactly. Yeah, I just, last week, I found, some Pure One, curtains and
Okay.
some decorative pillows. I've got the pillows, listed. I haven't done the curtains yet. It was a very good day because it was also the day I found the Lisa Frank tin.
Yeah, I think you put that on the group, didn't
Yes,
you?
I did. That was
I was like, oh, she
exciting.
got Lisa Frank.
That was exciting because that was just literally minutes after I listed it. It was I kind of think I have that ability, and I know a lot of people do, to know that there's something there, and I just have
Hmm.
to find it. I'm
Right.
supposed to be there. So
Yeah.
so I did that last little look because there's something, although already found the Pier 1, things, that was like, "That's pretty good, but there's gotta be something else here," and there it was, hiding, and I love to, research and find things out about stuff. Lisa
Right.
Frank originated here in Tucson.
Oh, that's right. Okay. And just for the listeners now, there is fake Lisa Frank.
Yes.
And so do you know the difference between the real and the fake? Like what the characteristics are?
Uh, Not really, but it was $2, so it's like, eh. But I was pretty sure it was old.
Well,
I did.
just, for the listeners, like just know that
Oh yeah,
there's like
it's.
modern fake, like it's trying to look the
Oh,
same
oh
as
yeah,
the
oh yeah,
original, and it
yeah,
has to do with like the year. If you look at the year, or um there's some other characteristics of that.
yeah. It
Um,
it looks like it would say Lisa Frank, but it doesn't exactly say Lisa
well, the
Frank.
colors are just off
Yeah,
a little, like doesn't look right.
yeah. As the same. That was actually from a Goodwill. The same Goodwill. I don't know. It was probably about a year ago or something. I found no. Uh, what are those, trapper keepers or something like that?
Oh yes, yeah, like from the 80s.
And this was obviously, it had been found by someone else and left. And I was like, then I was not sure whether it was real or not, or how old. But I thought, I'll take a chance. And there was a lot of things in there, so I separated it. Still, it's the Pegasus. I have not sold it. I've gotten a lot of low offers, but I haven't taken them. It's like I have a lot of people watching, so it's like I'm just gonna wait.
Now I'm going to ask you the revealing question. What year were you born?
62.
Okay. Okay. So you know the Trapper Keeper from high school, like, or did they come out after?
No, it would have been no.
No? Okay.
My kids, it was kind of in my kids' era,
Oh,
but it
really?
was
Okay.
kind of expensive stuff. So
Well, I
I
was born in 66 and I remember those from high school, the Trapper Keeper. I don't
uh,
know. I
with
always look
Lisa,
for them, but
well,
uh,
with Lisa Frank, I'm not sure,
no,
but
no, Lisa
oh,
Frank, that was a 90s
really?
thing.
Oh, okay, that's what I
Yeah.
thought you
Yeah. I
meant.
was talking about
Oh,
the
yes,
Trapper Keeper.
yes, yes, I do remember. Yes, I remember those.
I mean,
Yes.
don't you just wish we had known, we had a crystal ball and we had known, save your concert t-shirts, save your
Oh
school
my gosh.
supplies,
Yes.
save your stuffed animals, save all that, your toys, your Fisher Price little people. Some of those little people sell for crazy money.
Well, I still have some things at my mom's house, so
Okay.
someday I might get to some of those.
The treasure trove. That's
It
right.
is Barbies. Some I still have some vintage clothes at her house. So
Good for you.
those things will be
Mm,
someday.
like the ski jackets with the stripes on the front or the rainbow color, and just like, "Ah, I had one of those. Why didn't
Well,
I keep them?"
I like my mom worked at a nice department store, so
Okay.
I think I have an eye for nicer things, being able
Yeah.
to recognize them. And but I loved Gunny Sacks clothes.
Oh,
Those were my
right.
favorite.
Yes. Jessica McClintock, gunny sacks.
So
The
yes,
prom dress that you
I
had to
still
have.
yes. I still have some of those clothes.
I saved my babysitting money to buy my own prom dress. I was one of 4 kids, and we were middle class. I mean, we always had everything we needed, but it was something special. You better get out there and hustle it, figure out how to make the money to buy that. I'm still doing that.
you do you do a good job and encourage people how to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's out there. But yeah, back in high school, it's like I remember going to a lady's house that had a like prom and bridal dress store in her basement,
Oh wow.
and she would either let you rent them, or you could buy it and wear it and then sell it back to her. And I was just like,
Oh,
that is a brilliant idea, because you go to the mall, those dresses, even back then, like they were pricey. You're gonna wear it one time.
oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sometimes we got the wannabe Gunny Sack. It wasn't quite.
Right. Or if you were always a bridesmaid, never a bride, you had your bridesmaids dresses to wear to prom.
There, yeah, no, I was never a bridesmaid, so but nice
Well, I
idea.
wasn't in high school, but I had friends that, had older siblings, and they were the bridesmaids. So they had their dress and that's what they wore to
That's
prom.
yeah.
So I won't sell prom dresses on eBay now. I just they get returned. And although you can sell like some people sell them as like a zombie outfit, the zombie bride, if it's
Oh yeah,
a
yeah.
wedding dress.
I have a wedding dress that's vintage. It's not great, but I thought maybe it would sell for Halloween, but it didn't. But that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Well, maybe
It
next
will.
year.
Yeah, or somebody will need it for something else.
Or maybe it'll sell as a real wedding
Yeah,
dress because now weddings are becoming very casual and outdoor, and the bridesmaids are wearing cowboy boots with a short dress, and
yeah,
it's anything's really acceptable.
exactly, exactly. So a little more fun.
Yeah, exactly. And easy on the wedding participants. Like being in a wedding used to be, you had to buy the dress and the shoes and all the things. And now it's here's the color. Go get your own dress. We'll see you there.
Yeah, because everybody looks better in a different style.
Right. Pick what's flattering on you and what you feel comfortable and confident in, because some of those other styles, like where everybody wore the same thing, it's like, that does not look good on me.
No, it looked good on the one that was like the one who chose it.
Yeah. So also for the listeners, if you hadn't thought about dresses that way, if you're a clothing seller and you're looking through the dresses and um, go online and look at what wedding parties are wearing these days, because it's very laid back and low key in some situations. And I've sold dresses and put in the title bridesmaid if it was
Yeah,
something that might qualify.
yeah. Dresses are a pretty good seller just overall, I find.
Yeah. So how many items do you have listed?
Right now I have 349.
That's good. That's healthy. Good for you.
It kind of comes and goes.
Right.
It's kind of been down right now. Just a lot of things going on in life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about ready to. I've worked in retail for a number of years, and I'm giving that up very soon.
Oh, you are. So that's your like full-time job?
It's part time, but
Okay.
I've had enough retail.
So are you like a clerk or a sales associate or management?
No, just a clerk in retail, but I've been there for a long time. And as I
Mm-hmm.
said, retail has changed a lot, and I just don't want to be there anymore.
Yeah, kind of ready for something else, ready to work at home for
Yes,
yourself.
and we have elderly parents, and those issues are coming up. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just better to clear my slate as much as I can because you don't know what's going to happen.
Right. And I'm kind of going through that with my dad right now. He's in Atlanta and I have two siblings there. So I'm about 3 hours away, but the doctor appointments, it's
Oh,
just
yes.
that's their full-time job. And he is 87. And it's just constantly all the time.
Hmm.
He can't drive anymore. And eye doctor, cardiologist, internist, dermatologist, all the things. And it's like, oh, it's just exhausting.
It is. Yes, my husband has been taking care of most of that because he's really good. He's really smart and understanding all the medical things. But it's also just the everyday things that are becoming harder, and so
Right. Yeah. And it's
need more they need more attention. I can't. Our parents were very independent,
right. And they
and
don't want to be like that.
yeah,
They don't want to rely on their kids, but to get
right,
to a point where it's not safe for you to drive, or
yeah.
they don't remember their appointments, or the scary thing is all the medications, and there's like no one doctor overseeing all of these medications. and
Oh no, oh that.
and I don't think that generation thinks about that. They just do what they're told. And I think it's different for our generation. We kind of question things like, well, what are the side effects and how's that going to interact? And all these commercials are like suicidal thoughts and actions, homicidal thoughts and actions. I don't want any of that.
Yeah, and then put in if your parent was computer savvy,
Mm-hmm.
and they're losing some of their ability to know what's good and what's not.
Right.
um,
Right.
that is sort of a ticking time bomb there.
Absolutely. So it's not an easy job. Is your husband retired?
Yes, he had his own business, and I helped him some with that. But so
Does he help you with the eBay?
no, this
No,
is
he's not into treasure hunting and stuff.
oh, but he's into treasure hunting. Yes, he likes books. He's still a book collector,
Mm-hmm.
but he holds on to things.
Ah, he doesn't want to let them go. Okay.
Yes. So I'm like, you got all these books, you used to sell on Amazon. You could sell on eBay, but that's up to him.
Well, if he has that many, I mean, here's what I might do because I'm sneaky. Like, go in there and price check them. Maybe sell them. Is he going to notice they're gone? If he has 1,000 books, is he really going to notice that
Oh,
a
he
few are
probably
gone?
has 2,000.
Okay, so he knows his
He's
inventory.
a, he's a scholar, and like I said, he's very intelligent. So he knows a lot.
He would notice, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he would notice
at some point you might want to downsize a little bit, so you'll be ready for that.
for sure. He did. If probably I think I shared this with you maybe in a message one time, but probably my best sale, he helped me with that one because I didn't have $20 and he paid me
Okay,
$20 for it.
right?
But yeah, it was a Goodwill, and we went in, and I saw this item in somebody's basket, and it's like, oh my gosh, I know what that is. And I could tell by them looking, and they're looking at their phone that they did not know what it was.
Okay.
It was Stife, and
Stipe, right?
it,
A stuffed
but
animal.
but it was not just a stuffed animal. It was it's what it is called is a Stife Christmas pyramid.
Okay.
So it's sort of like, those things where at Christmas, like you put the candles in them and it makes them go around.
Oh, where the smoke or the heat from the candle
Yes.
turn,
Okay.
right?
Except think of a really big one.
Okay.
It's got Stife bears on it. It has two or three tiers. And but I could tell they did not know what it was. Now I would buy that immediately because it's Stife. But
Right.
they were having trouble figuring it out. So they set it down, and I didn't get to it quick enough. Somebody else
Oh,
picked it up. And
bummer.
they did the same thing, though. They couldn't figure it out either. And it was $20, which this was quite a number of years ago. So, I mean, that's a lot for me to pay for anything myself, I think, $20.
Right.
But at that time, it was probably more like a $50 item or something. So anyways, they were trying to figure it out, and finally they put it down, and I just snatched it
Good for you.
up. But I didn't have $20, so my husband paid it. So anyways, I ended up selling it for, I think it was about $400 at
Oh,
the time.
really?
Yes, it was worth quite a bit. But I mean, I knew it was good, but it wasn't. Who thinks pyramid? Okay, I was thinking Christmas, and all the keywords that you think of to put in to try to research. Finally, I found it, and then that was the word pyramid.
But there's a name for that type of decoration with the candles that makes the thing
Yeah,
turn. I'll have to find that
but
name. It's
there
German.
is,
It's a
yeah,
German type thing.
they're German, and I looked actually yesterday. I looked, and there is one that's brand new in the box, and it's not. I mean, they've been around. It's been around for quite a while, but they were asking, I think, $1,000 for it.
Wow.
And this one was not new, but it wasn't in bad condition. It just wasn't totally 100% complete. But
Mhm.
anyways, that was probably my most fun sale. But oh my gosh,
I would say $400.
yeah, that was exciting.
Good for you.
So I did pay my husband back the $20. So okay, he did help me once.
That's all he got was his $20 investment
Yes, that's it.
back. He
That's
didn't get
it.
half of the sale. He didn't get 200.
Well, for a few years I helped him look for books, and I had a good eye for finding books that were worth money, and I didn't get anything for them.
Hey,
So,
that's right. Hey, buddy, you got to hustle it. Yeah, that's right.
oh well, another one where it wasn't great. That's really the highest kind of thing I've ever had. But another one I learned from you is the grandma's recipes
Yes.
boxes. I went a different Goodwill, and I just saw a box, and you couldn't tell there was anything in it. And it's like I opened, like, oh my gosh, this is what everybody's talking about, you know. So I had fun with that. I like looked at all the recipes, but they were mostly desserts. They weren't like I don't know, main dishes. But anyways, it
Well,
was
I
fun,
mean, really, what else matters?
I guess. You know, I don't know what I was thinking might be in there, but anyways, it was fun,
Right.
and I sold it for $50, which I thought was quite nice since I
Very good.
$2 or something for
How,
it.
like, were they the little recipe cards?
Yes, yes, it looked like a little wooden, kinda cupboard, not really a chest, but looked more like a cupboard. I saw a few of them without recipes in them, but with so I thought that was fun. I just sold, a doll. It was a huge doll, it was 23 inches, and it didn't I had to buy 2 boxes to put it together.
Okay, to Frankenbox it. Yeah.
Yes, but then I had to make it smaller because the shipping was so high. So I ended up selling it to someone who was fairly close, just like in California. I had a
Uh-huh.
number of inquiries like on the East Coast, and it just was too expensive. So,
Yeah.
my mother-in-law had been given it from a lady, a neighbor who had died, and it was just sitting in her garage, and she asked me if I wanted it, and I'm like, I really don't, but I hate for this thing to disintegrate sitting here. So I was person who bought it was like, "This is the last doll I needed." So to complete my set.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean, I get a lot of satisfaction when people are happy with what they got or what they
Yeah.
wanted. That makes you feel. I think it makes me feel good that I make someone happy.
Right. You were part of that. Now, what kind of doll was it?
Um, gosh, it was a big plastic doll, vinyl.
There was no brand on it.
I can't remember. Sorry.
Okay. I will put you on the spot. There's
I
different, I've sold some Tonner, Tonner dolls. I sold those for somebody else, but they weren't that tall.
It
Uh,
was one that I'd never heard of before, but it was very realistic looking as far as a doll, and it
mhm.
had some old clothes on it,
Oh, that's a plus. The
and
clothing.
it was in nice condition. But I was gonna originally like uh, mail it like flat, but that
Mhm.
made the box too big, so I did it sitting down.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I put like so much bubble wrap and stuff around it, so it had a
You
very
kind
nice,
of folded her over.
yeah,
Okay.
had a very
Yeah.
nice soft ride.
Yeah, I've done that with big plush, like put their arms and legs, up across their chest and rolled it in a ball and shrink wrapped it, like with the stretch wrap, used for
Oh, right,
shooting
yeah.
and stuff, like stretch wrapped it so it wouldn't come apart, like explode out of the box when they opened it. um, yeah, but that's a great idea to make it as small as you can without compromising its journey, to keep the shipping as low as possible.
Another thing I like to sell, and they fit nicely actually in those padded envelopes, is tiles. Uh,
Right. Like kitchen
like,
decorative tiles.
yeah, there's all kind, especially here. A lot of them are made in this area,
Right.
so get them for a pretty low price and sell those, and they seem to do good. I like those.
Yeah, I've found a few of those, and depending on the company that made them, or even if they're just handmade and have no information, if it's interesting, um, yeah, I've
Yeah,
sold. They're very easy to ship. You're right.
exactly, easy. And I found one that was a Disneyland one. It
Oh,
was like the Louisiana Street or Orland Street or something. I think it wasn't like, it didn't pop out as Disney, so I think that's why people didn't notice it too much.
Okay.
But then I took a really good list, like, oh, this is from Disneyland. So that was nice. It had the metal like edging around.
Okay.
So that
Interesting.
was,
Yeah, you have to leverage what is available to you. And if you're in an area that manufactures something special that's not available everywhere, that's great to take advantage of. And don't assume that somebody's already doing it. You know, you might just find straggler items that that have great value because that's
well,
made in the area. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I feel like, I'm always looking for that thing that Goodwill hasn't figured out yet.
Well, and
Last,
they can't mark up everything. They won't sell anything.
last year I found a couple of completed needlepoint stockings.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so those were nice. I've sold kits for years and years. I didn't even know it was a thing that people sold kits. I just found them and I sold them. So that's a nice item too. That's easy to ship. Um,
Wonder about that, why the kits go for so much. Obviously, if they're not made anymore, but is it somebody who's remaking something they made a long time ago? Because I mean, there's enough new ones that are nice and pretty and like,
I
what is it about that
I
that
don't
makes
know.
people pay $80 to $100 for a cross stitch kit?
I don't know if it's nostalgia. I don't know. I mean, I remember making in the 70s it was a thing. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
I
did it
made
in the
some.
80s.
I made some of them and I've sold actually, and I have listed some completed ones in frames. So a few of those. I don't know. The only caution about those I've found is I always stick them in the freezer because
Oh, the kits, because there might be bugs in them.
yes, I have been disappointed by some that I've
Ooh, that is a
sold.
good point. I'd never thought about that.
Yeah, there's an anything basically that's wool. Um, as a matter of fact, I'm just now disappointed because I found a Saint. I've never found anything that was Saint John,
Yeah.
and I just took another look at it, and it's got holes in it.
Yeah, the moths like that acrylic too. Yeah. Yeah. And
So
sometimes
I
they're hard to
was,
see in the store. You don't see it till you get
uh,
home with it.
yeah, and I think sometimes there can be a weak spot that you didn't later, becomes a bigger hole.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, I try to look at stuff in the store, but yeah, you don't always see everything. So I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'm gonna try to cut off. Maybe it's a really interesting jacket. It has like keys and things on it. So I don't know if I'm gonna maybe try to sell the little metal accessories
Oh,
off of it.
yeah. Just cut those off and sell them. I've done that with the St. John buttons and I actually cut the buttons off and the label
Yeah.
because the garment itself was not optimal. And I knew that when I bought it. I'm like, well, this is $3. I know I can sell these buttons for 25 and they actually sold for 39. So
Yeah.
especially
I
if it's
remember that.
yeah,
So
if it's like nautical or anchors or
yeah,
something
it's keys.
specific,
So
has a theme to it. Because those buttons are gorgeous and maybe somebody needs those specific ones, or maybe they're just going to take a Target jacket and put that on it and
make it
walk around
make
faking
it
people out. I'm wearing St. John. Haha, not really.
yeah. Well, the market here, I mean, basically, unfortunately, what we mostly have is Goodwill. Really.
Okay.
Most of the other charities have shut up their stores. I mean, there's a few, but it's been a long time since I've really done yard sales and such. But maybe now because I'm going through a transition in my life, um, maybe I'll get into that more.
Well, if it's warm enough to have them there year round, right?
Well, it's too hot in the summer.
It gets too right in the summer, it's
It,
too
it's
hot. But
it's too hot.
yeah, estate sales too. And then the online auctions there might be some around you that you could drive to pick up. Yeah. It's like you got to push yourself into different
Yeah,
ways of getting inventory sometimes.
there
Now,
is.
did the other thrift stores close up because of COVID, or was it just happening anyway?
No, they were mostly, one was before COVID, one was after. I don't really know. They were local charities. They were larger stores, but I don't know. Maybe they just didn't feel like they were making it was enough effort, you know, to keep it open. So,
Okay.
but I do love, there's a store. Uh, we have a family cabin that's in the mountains, and there's a little town that has a lot of thrift stores. Love going
Oh,
up there.
good.
That's fun. But there's a specific thrift store, and I found a few things. Some Lemix that I just sold the Halloween. That's great.
Oh, right. Okay. Limax. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a nice, I think it was about $6. It was a lit up, like, they were wolves on a
Oh,
rock.
okay.
And so that was a nice sale. I had some other things that I added to it. So that's always a good way to, I'd had no action on the things that I had listed. So adding them to that, I sold it right away.
Oh,
So,
good. That's a great idea.
and what else? Oh, uh, two times I've gotten glasses there. One was a pair of, well, they were both designer ones. I can't recall the name, but I found some really nice glasses there, and I hadn't really thought about, one was sunglasses and one was regular glasses, and you listening to some of the things you've said encouraged me to even try that, because I didn't really think about that. But so that was nice to find a few things up there.
Oh,
A
good.
different place.
Well, yeah, put that on your route.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we are almost to the end. That went by fast, didn't it?
It did, oh my gosh.
Do you have any parting words for the listeners?
Um, yeah, I had some thoughts, just from my own thoughts, is to find what it is that you like to sell, because if you don't like it, you're gonna get stuck. Or at least in my experience, I've gotten stuck. I have something I've bought and I really just I just don't want to sell it. It just doesn't mean anything to me, or it's too hard, or it's too, I don't really want to clean that, or I don't, you know. So I try to keep all those. Is this really something that it's going to go through quick?
Right. Am I going to
It
get
does,
on this and get it listed in a few days? Or am I going to be like, I don't really want to
yeah.
do
That
this?
it's just, and I guess I have a standard too, like shoes. I couldn't abide sending shoes to someone that were dirty, because like my daughter received some that I had ordered from someone, and I just couldn't do that to someone, if
Mhm.
I wouldn't want it in the state that I'm sending it, I I can't send it. So,
Well, and we all have those why did I buy this moments. We
yes,
all have that. Um, you get home with it and you start evaluating it and it's like, why did I buy this?
so I'm trying to be more picky about what I'm getting. Less is more.
Right, and it's an evolution.
It
Yeah.
it is.
You work with something enough times that you don't really like and yeah, I can figure out something else. Because this is supposed to be fun and enjoyable. You're not supposed to
Exactly.
dread it.
Exactly. But on the other hand, try new things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't want to get so stuck in something, that's just, I'm only looking for this, but always trying to find something new, but also enjoyment. I don't think if you don't enjoy it, it's just going to be harder.
Well, and I'm a firm believer that everything sellers have more success. Maybe not in all cases, but it's just my observation that who's more successful, Walmart or that little boutique that only sells, Western wear? Who gets more customers? Well, the more stuff you have in there, the more customers you're going to get. And they come for different reasons. So, um, just I like being an almost everything seller.
Well, I have quite a variety, but I've purged things that I don't want to sell anymore. So
Right.
that's always a good, like jackets, they take up too much room.
Yeah, they do.
Coats, I have coats now. I'm gonna donate them to a worthy charity. They
Good.
take too much room,
Yeah.
so things that I'm just like, I don't want to sell those. I don't need to. So
Well, and yeah, that comes with time. You figure it out. So,
those were things, and things do sell. I've had things sold. I mean, I don't give up on some things, and
right.
some,
Well,
I'll,
especially if you see other people selling it, like
yes,
so and so sells this all the time. And now I've got one. When's mine going to sell?
so,
So, anyway, well, thank you for sharing your wisdom, Deborah. It was great to meet you. And we'll look for some more of your sales on the Facebook group.
thank you so much. I had such a nice time, and it was so
Oh,
nice to
good.
meet you.
Okay. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Okay, now on to parting words. And in this episode, the parting words are me eating my words. Deborah talked about the Christmas pyramid with the candles. The heat from the candles makes the top piece spin. And I was thinking there was a specific German word for these, but I was wrong. They're simply called pyramids or carousels. So Google that Christmas pyramid, Christmas carousel. If you don't know what I'm referring to, they are beautiful and quite expensive. Next week, my guests are Marla and Ed, who run an online auction business in addition to selling on eBay. I actually bought some items from them, not realizing Marla has been in the Facebook group for a while and posts her sales. So, talk about a small world. They will share some insights from both the auction company's perspective and tips for resellers buying items for resale. So, make sure you tune in for that next week. Thank you, listeners, for supporting this podcast. I appreciate you. Make it a fun week on eBay. Bye for now.